surf ranch.
Shut up.
To have the pool to ourselves, and that was the craziest thing I'll ever experience. And just the fact that the majority of people that helped me in the water were able to be a part of that, and Joey too.
Dude.
That's something that I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
That's amazing. Like, how cool is that? I love this story, just the perchance meeting, and then the comment, the kind of little offhand comment, like, hey, next time you go, is like a Jess, and it's like all of a sudden, boom, you're on your way to Slater's wave pool, and then everyone who's been along with you for this journey could be there. Like, that's special. That's special.
I think that was cool for me too, was for everybody that came, I was able to share a wave with each of them.
Wow.
And I think we were all able to grasp, like, do you realize where we are? Like, there's professional surfers that are big names that haven't had the opportunity to go there, may never have the opportunity to go. And I just had it because I made an impression on someone, and they were willing to put in the effort to make this special opportunity a possibility for me and the people that I care about.
So how was the wave? How good is it? And did you get barreled?
I got so barreled that I broke my board.
No way. Shut up.
And we ended up having to use one of the lifeguard boards that they had at the surf ranch and jerry-rigging handles so that I could hold on to that board.
I hear the wipeout's pretty vicious there.
So I'm shocked that you never heard this story from anybody else.
No.
When we get there, right, there's a whole safety meeting, there's a whole safety team. Cliff, Willie, everybody's in there. They have this presentation of the safety meeting, and they're like, okay, now we're going to go out in the water. I look, and they're like, do you want to start off on whatever wave setting? And Cliff says, no, fuck that. We want the biggest one. So we go, and I'm waiting out in the water, and I know, because I know my buddy, I'm like, Cliffy didn't pay zero attention to any of the safety things that they were talking
He's
about.
He's like, we got you.
So what ends up happening is, I'm not sure how familiar everybody is with the surf ranch. There's almost like a ramp part of the ranch that slopes down underneath what would be like a pier. I ended up down that pier on my back, looking up at my mother in straight fear. And because there's like a prison tower that everybody that was shooting photography and whatever, and my mom was up there with them, was looking down from, and I just saw my mother's face, and I was like, oh boy. So after that wipeout, they were ready to like shut it down.
Oh, shit.
And I had to like reassure the guy on the jet ski, like, I'm fine. Let's go. I want my next wave. Like, I'm not blowing this opportunity because I don't know if I'm ever going to get it again. And it was just, that memory itself could have made the whole trip, because even when I got back and the jet ski driver was like, are you okay? They said they'd never seen anybody end up over there. And your boy was the first person to ever end up over there. And
holy shit.
I'm sure I'm sure they still talk about it.
Dude, what color what type of hair dye does your mom use? Because I imagine her hair is gray from you.
She's gone all gray at this point, and I'm sure that
Sorry,
one
Mom.
played a role in it.
But like that's amazing. I mean, that's freaking what a cool story. Like, that's freaking awesome. So when you did get back out on there, I imagine you got I've seen footage of like a pretty sick little wave.
Yeah, that place is as crazy as you think it is. That's exactly what it is. I tried to explain it to my friends after the fact that it's like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of surfing, because they open up these golden gates. You get like ushered in secretly, and it's just a perfect barrel, wave after wave, and it's insane.
That's I'm jealous and stoked for you, but like it sounds awesome. But now you've also been lucky because we have a wave pool here in just across the river in New Jersey, and at the American Dreams Mall, and your best buddies just happen to be the ones running that wave pool. So how sick is that?
So the craziest thing for me about that place is you walk in and it's like you're shopping at like Roosevelt Field or any other retail mall. And then all of a sudden you walk through the doors and there's a wave pool with Shrek in the center of it. Like the first time I saw Shrek and all the decorations and stuff, I was like, whoa, this place is wild.
I'd hate to be on acid in there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought to myself, is like, this place is an acid trip, because there's Shrek, Donkey, and all kinds of other like movie characters hanging from the ceiling. And then you have these fun waves of all different shapes and sizes, and you can call them up all different times, and you like there's a whole menu of things that can happen and all different stuff. And the best thing about it for me is the water's warm, so no wetsuit. I don't have to worry about spasms, anything like that. And throughout the winter months, because it gets a time here where the water gets too cold for me and my body's just not going to be okay with me going in the water, because all I'm going to do is spasm. And
not to mention thick wetsuits would be really a pain in the ass to get on.
This is another way for me to, number one, get more practice as we go towards the competitive goals, but also be able to stay in the water year round and have access to a one-of-a-kind facility that I'm always grateful for. Whatever time I have to go there, however long the opportunity is, because I know that there's thousands of people that would be dying to have access to the pool as I do. And I just want to thank everybody over at the American Dream that the Scootins are partnered with, and obviously the Scootin surf team is very gracious to me. Whenever there's time for me to get in the water over there, I get a phone call, you want to come, and you won't hear me say no.
And during COVID, it must have been really helpful for you too. So I imagine
during COVID for me, it was a saving grace, because obviously due to different health stuff, I'm pretty high risk. So I've been pretty low key with the things that I've been doing, except for like when I was going to Islander games and stuff.
Yeah.
So being in that facility with the same group of people that I'm always in the water with, and not having to interact with that many people, and still being able to get exercise and get in the water was a saving grace for my mental health as well.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise you're trapped at home and there's more on your mind. And I think that's been the hardest thing for people about this whole situation is the mental toll as opposed to the physical things that could happen.
It's definitely the mental aspect has been really difficult for everyone, I think. And, to be able to have that release and be able to do that, for you is just, gosh, that's got to be so key. I got to experience the pool just twice and I was just kind of floating afterwards, it's incredible.
I've joked with people that I have a residency at the wave pool because I think I've been there the most out of people that don't work at the facility. And
absolutely.
It's just all right, we see you here again.
No, you got to surf with Action Bronson too, which is pretty freaking cool.
Did.
How cool is that? That guy is amazing. I love That's Delicious.
The craziest thing for me is when we got there, I didn't realize that he was there.
No way.
And all of a sudden, I hear my dad go, "Who the hell is that guy?" And I'm like, "Dad, that's Action Bronson." And like I said, my older brother is a huge fan of Action Bronson. So he had said to me, if you ever meet him, you got to ask him about this, and this. So we get out in the water, and Cliffy takes me in the water. She's like, "Yo, you got to go say what's up to Bronson, but then we want you to get a wave with him."
Nice.
And I ended up getting a wave with him, and he's just exactly like what you've seen on the show.
Yes.
That's him. There's no act, there's no anything. He's just a dude from Queens.
That's awesome. I'm such a big fan. I think I've seen him a few times in Brooklyn, just kind of biking by or running a couple times. He's lost so much weight too. He's so fit now. It's incredible.
I think what was cool was obviously there was some hesitation from him at first when they were like, "We want you to surf a wave with Samurai," but when he saw what I had been doing previously to him helping me in the water, I think it kind of put him at ease.
Yeah.
And he was as happy about being able to do that as I was being able to tell people, I just surfed with Action Bronson this morning.
You mean Action Bronson just surfed with you? That's the thing, First off, I think you're probably a better surfer than him, and you have a bit more experience. So let's state the obvious there.
It was cool that there was that mutual admiration too of this dude didn't have to do this.
Yeah.
And also he took time to make sure that I knew that he was appreciative of the things that I'm doing.
That's awesome.
In the water, in my arena, as opposed to me being aware of the things that he's doing with music and film and
did he offer to smoke a blunt with you after?
I'm sure that will happen at some point.
I want to ask, what do you think wave pools will do for adaptive surfing? I can see one, the performance level going up, but two, competitions. This is really going to change things.
I think, especially for those settings where you kind of want to have a controlled environment, because there's other factors playing into different people's scenarios and what their situations are. To me,
yeah,
I love surfing wave pools because, number one, there's not that effort that you have to do in the ocean to get everybody out, so you're not completely burnt out before you even really get to surf.
Totally.
And then say anything goes haywire, you're able to shut it down and make sure everything's kosher before anything goes completely wrong.